Welcome to the Hustle Wing podcast. Today we are joined by Liran, the founder and CEO of Cash. He's going to talk to us about our company. We're going to get to know each other and just have an all round good time. So thank you so much for joining us today, Liran. How are you?
Thank you, Izzy, and thank you for having me. It's a great morning, and excited to get this going.
Awesome. Awesome. Me too. So tell me, what is Cash?
So Cash is basically a new fintech startup, and we're building a fully automated. Now I have to say AI powered because if I don't, everybody kind of stops listening. So a fully automated AI powered cash management platform for households. And basically, the whole understanding behind it is that, all of the tools that were created to give people kind of budgeting tools and, things that kind of help you do your finances better just don't work. And they don't work because people just don't want to spend the time on that. So, on
Okay.
average, Americans, for example, spend between 1 to 2 minutes per week on personal finance. That is it. That is the number. And it's unchangeable. And therefore,
Wow.
basically, our whole platform, what it says, it tells people, you do you. You want to do a minute or two a week, that's completely fine. We're building a solution that fits into that time frame and allows you to do things better, and in most cases, optimally. And the way to do that is just by full and complete automation. We just do a lot of these things for you.
Okay. Okay, cool. So, is it like a way to sort of track your finances and do like your taxes and stuff like that?
So there's a variety of things that we do, and when I say we do, it means that we do some of it. We're building the rest, as
Okay.
most startups. But I'll
Yeah.
give you a few examples. So the first example, and this is what we basically have live today,
Hmm.
is a cash sweeping function between a checking account and a savings account or a high yield savings account. So basically, you connect these two accounts to us, and then we optimize your money flow, your cash flow towards the savings account. You get the interest that they're paying you today. You can get around 5%, and the money comes back to your checking as you need it, as you use it. So basically, you're earning 5% on every dollar that you're not actively using, right? That's one
Oh, cool.
example. Another
Okay.
example is paying off your credit cards from the high APR, the high interest rate, to the low interest rate. Less than 10% of Americans actually do that. So it's very simple automation. Or I don't know if you know what a utilization rate is. A utilization rate is the rate of the credit that you're actually using. So let's say the credit card company is willing to give you $10,000. If you use 3,000, it's 30%. When you go
Yeah.
above 30%, it hurts your credit score. Most people don't know that. We just
Mm.
automatically pay it off to prevent that. Or,
Yeah.
automatically tracking all of your tax deductible expenses. The moment you swipe a card, at that very second, I know if it's tax deductible or not. There's really no reason why you should even deal with it. So
Yeah.
things of that nature, a lot of the kind of the day to day nitty gritty
Yeah.
stuff that you need to do and probably don't.
Awesome. Okay, I love that because I guess when you have to do your taxing at the end of the year, it makes things a lot easier because you've got a tracking day to day the whole time. I know when I have to do my taxes, I want to scream because, receipts fade and I can't remember what I spent this on. And, it's a whole mess.
Right. And
So I love,
taxes and taxes is just one aspect of it. There's so many things going on in your
yeah.
life, in many households life. So just think about it. An average so we're focused on the US. So an
Yeah.
average US household has
Hmm.
between 30 to 40 financial accounts. 30 to
What?
40 financial accounts. That's more than any small, medium sized business, right? It starts
Yeah.
with typically, two, three checking accounts, and then you have savings accounts. 4 or 5 credit cards is the national average. Some people have, 15, and then you have IRAs and 401ks and 529s and health savings accounts and dependent
Mm.
care flexible spending accounts and loans and mortgages and car leases and whatnot. You get
Yeah.
to over 30. It's complicated, right? It's complicated, and it is very, very, very hard to deal with all of this,
Mm.
especially when you have another day job, right? When you have other things to do, and when it's annoying, like nobody really
Yeah.
wants to do this, right? So that's basically where we try to come in and just tell people, we got you.
Awesome, awesome, cool. So, yeah, what's your story? Why did you begin Cash? Do you have a background in finance or?
So basically, kind of very quick intro about myself. So formally, originally, was a lawyer and CPA, an accountant. Got certified in both, but never really practiced any of them.
Yeah.
Then joined as the first employee a telecom company, built it from scratch until eventually selling it a few years later to two of the larger telecom incumbents, plus an infrastructure fund. Then did M&As. M&As is mergers and acquisitions. I always say M&As and assume that everybody knows what it is, but then recently people have been telling me, no, it's not
No.
obvious. So mergers and acquisitions,
Mhm.
a little bit in Europe, but primarily in China for a large Chinese company.
Okay.
And that did that for a few years. And then most recently, basically did a PhD at Harvard, where I focused on issues such as this, on personal finance, on mistakes and biases. In trading decisions and investment decisions in personal finance. And
Yeah.
that's basically what brought me to Cash, where the whole story started, where I just, as part of my PhD, started interviewing people,
Hmm.
to kind of get their insights, to see if what the research that I was doing, has an impact, affects people, is interesting to people. And eventually, from those conversations, I understood that while I, started my PhD and had kind of research trading and investments and things of that nature, that for 98% of people, or kind of the large kind of almost all of people, the more difficult decisions, the bigger pain point is day-to-day cash management, day-to-day financial decisions. Trading is kind of the problem of the few. And that
Yeah.
basically is what brought us to Cash, to an attempt to solve this problem after we saw that all of the other solutions, all of the other things that you see on the market, which are kind of more budgeting tools, have
Mm.
an underlying assumption that you want to do this, you have all the time that you need to do this. The only thing that you're actually missing is the proper tool. And our
Yeah.
thesis is completely different. The tool is good, it's fine, but if you don't want to do this, or you don't have the time to do this, or for some other reason you're not able to do this, then these tools don't matter, right? And that's
Yeah.
exactly what we're trying to solve.
Okay. Awesome. Awesome. So, what's the long term vision for Cash? What's the end goal for it?
So from a product perspective, I think that we eventually are aiming to build a truly full blown, AI powered cash management platform that encompasses, all of your financial accounts, and
Hmm.
just makes your life easier and really saves you both time and money. And
Yeah.
in a conservative estimation, we believe that we can save an average household over $5,000 annually,
Wow.
and for some households even over 10.
Wow.
And this is, this is a big number for a lot of families, and even for those who have more money. Nobody wants to leave $10,000 on the ground, right?
Yeah.
So that's what we're trying to do. And one of the things that I tell people is that if you look kind of at the past 5 to 10 years, as humanity, in a way, we made greater progress towards building autonomous cars, which is a much more difficult problem to solve than towards building an autonomous financial solution, right? So if we don't start changing this, in, I don't know, 15 years, you'll sit in the back of a driverless car, kind of with your legs up, but still need to manage your own finances by yourself on the phone. So we're
Yeah.
saying no. We need to kind of catch up, and
Mm.
that's our vision for the company.
I love that analogy. It makes sense. You do think that, like, you do not want an autonomous. You do want an autonomous car, but you definitely want autonomous finances. It makes sense.
Exactly.
um,
And it's a simpler problem to solve. Honestly, it's like
is it?
it's a less, like we really can't kill you, right? And if we get a little bit wrong, and it's always reversible, right?
Yeah.
You can't reverse a turn, but you can definitely reverse money movement. Yeah.
That's true. That's a fair point. All right, cool. So what sort of challenges? Oh, actually, how long has Cash been running before I move on to the next
So
question? Sorry. When did
we've been running for about a year. We
Okay.
launched our first automation. You can call it a beta product, but
Yeah.
it's an open beta, right?
Okay.
And everybody is invited to check it out. It's mycache.ai, mycache.ai. That is our first automation. We launched it a few months ago. And now essentially we're continuing to build out the product, and focusing a lot of our energy on acquiring customers, on go to market,
Yeah.
which is probably what we're going to talk about in your next question about what we're looking for.
Yeah, definitely. So you're still very new in the game, I'm sure. Well, you've just explained that you only just recently launched a couple of months ago. What are some of the challenges that you guys are currently facing at Cash at the moment?
So I think the main challenge that we're facing, and that is, I would assume similar to most consumer facing companies, is that of user acquisition, of customer acquisition. It's not hard. It's not easy to acquire consumers at scale. Right, it's not businesses that you just send some salesperson to go one by one. You get your half an hour and you kind of convince them.
Yeah.
Here, we basically need to acquire consumers after they read, like, 5 words somewhere. That's basically the attention span. Um,
Yeah.
and that is essentially what we are spending a lot of time on. We want to, grow our product. I wouldn't say as quickly as possible, because obviously there are, stages that we're
Yeah.
following. But that is, I think, the main challenge that we're facing, the main focus area for a lot of our team at this moment.
Cool, cool, awesome. So, yeah, I hear you about trying to reach more people. It's definitely harder when it comes to B2C. But I mean, that's where you would need like a solid proof sort of marketing plan, I guess, in that case. So would you be open then, to sort of segue into the next question, would you be open to hearing pitches from marketers, maybe digital marketers, your social media, sort of content creation and things like that? Would you be open to people reaching out to you with maybe strategic plans on how to, have a bigger reach or lead generation or things like that?
Yes, yeah. So I think the main reason that I'm here is that we are looking for assistance with kind of exactly what you said, with digital marketing, paid advertising, content creation. I think that we are currently at the stage where it makes sense. Instead of just to throw money at Facebook or Google or whatever, to
Yeah.
do it in collaboration with influencers, or kind of micro influencers, or people, because basically we're trying to overcome a trust barrier, right? So
Yeah.
we are a financial company. In order for us to give you value, you need to connect financial accounts to us. And that requires a certain level of trust. It's very hard for a non-brand, right? We're a non-brand at this point,
Yeah.
to get that, and therefore, one of the things that we're trying to do is really kind of think about how we're going to do it with influencers, or things of that nature. Would love to receive kind of ideas, pitches, maybe connections on that. So that's really our main focus area. Another thing that we're exploring is a B2B2C strategy in collaboration with financial institutions, with banks. We do
Mm,
have our first two bank deals signed, and we're kind of getting them up and running for January. But that is also something that if someone sees this and kind of has kind of is from the banking sector, has connections, and can help develop a strategy on how to approach kind of a large number of banks, and kind of get more of them on board with us. That would also be very, very helpful.
Awesome, awesome. Okay, great. And you said so you're still on the beta product, and you're developing new features and things like that. Would you be open to hearing people that maybe are on the tech side and would be interested in, pitching you different features in that department?
Um, so we have a very solid CTO. Now he cannot see this video because then he will know that because I'm yelling at him all day. You're not what's going on and stuff like that. So now he'll learn that he's solid. Anyway, so I think we have a very solid CTO. We have a very good development team.
Mm,
Um, I don't see exactly what someone could, pitch us in that realm. But I've learned never to say never. You never know, where something may come from, and I've had a bunch of intros and calls that I
yeah.
did, uh, even years ago, and somehow now kind of came back into play. So we're always happy, to talk to people, to hear people if somebody has, any cool idea that may be relevant.
Awesome, awesome. Yeah, great. And then lastly, so with being in the financial sector, I'm sure there's a lot of rules and regulations that surround that. So would you also be open to hearing from sort of people that would give part-time legal aid?
Yes, that's pretty an interesting question. So we do have kind of a legal counsel, and
Yeah,
we do have um, kind of like very part-time regulatory, kind of a regulatory advisor. That is
yeah,
actually something that I would be delighted to, to meet a few more and kind of see, maybe we want to, think about it again. Having
yeah,
said that, it has to be someone with, the regulation in the US is very specific, so it has to be
of course.
someone with expertise specifically on the U.S. market and the U.S.
Yes, banking.
Specific regulations. Yeah.
Yeah, of course, obviously. Great. Well, thank you so much again, Liran, for your time. It's been amazing chatting to you and getting to know cash. I love the concept. I feel like it's definitely a need. And once it penetrates the market, I feel like you guys are, the sky is definitely the limit. So I wish you all the
Thank
best
you.
in
Thank
future.
you. Thank you so much. Feel well,
Thank
and
you.
happy holidays. And
Thank
thank
you.
you for your
You
time.
too.
Bye bye.
Awesome.